Hey, what's up everybody? Eternal Fire here, and today I want to talk about the nerf with the Prot warrior that happened recently. So basically, Intercept and Shield Slam now only generate 10 rage down from 15, and your Vengeance talent now only reduces the rage cost of Focus Rage and Ignore Pain when procced by 35% down from 50%. So basically what that means is when Focus Rage is Vengeance procced, it costs 19 rage when it used to cost 15 rage, and then Ignore Pain used to cost 10 to 30 rage, and now it is 13 to 39 rage. So it is a little more expensive and you generate a little less rage. So I just kind of want to talk about some tips and tricks on how to cope with your Prot warrior. So one of the first things to keep in mind on your opener is Battle Cry should never be used as a DPS cooldown. It should be used to generate, get a free ultimatum proc and generate rage to use Ignore Pain. Basically meaning your opener should look like Intercept. I said that weird. Intercept. Followed by a Battle Cry and then a Shield Slam, which is going to proc Ultimatum on Focused Rage. And at that point, you're going to have a free proc of Ignore Pain, meaning that you really didn't have to do anything to, you didn't have to spend any rage to get the Vengeance proc of Ignore Pain. And so you're going to have in the 20s of rage, and you're going to be able to pop Ignore Pain. So at that point, you're going to be able to go with your normal rotation. And one thing I want to let you know is that when you pop Battle Cry, it is far more beneficial to hit Battle Cry, hit Shield Slam, and then hit nothing else during that Battle Cry except for Devastate, trying to proc another Shield Slam. So when you pop that Battle Cry, you hit that Shield Slam, then you spam the crap out of that Devastate button to try and get another proc of Shield Slam. I've found that the most I've gotten is 3. And that's if you do it perfectly and you have a lot of haste. So the most Shield Slams I've gotten, and it was a perfect, every time I hit Devastate, Shield Slam procced. Most of the time, if you're lucky, you can get 2 in. But the thing is you do that and you're going to have plenty of rage to get a full Ignore Pain. And don't forget that when you take damage, based on the percentage of health you lost from the damage you're taking, you generate rage from that. So if you look at my rage bar right now, in the video, you'll see that I have plenty of rage to make something work. And when you're using your Vengeance proc or your Vengeance talent with Ultimatum properly, things still don't cost too much. You have a really big rage bar, and when it gets filled to like where it is now in the video, you have a lot of room to work with to get Focus Rage out and, get full Ignore Pains out. So, Shield Slam takes priority. Devastate, in my opinion, is just as, if not more important than Revenge, but I do use Revenge to generate that extra 5 rage. So, you generate rage now from Intercept, Shield Slam, Revenge, from taking damage, and you want to make sure that you're using your Ultimatum appropriately. So, one thing I want to mention, and this is really big as far as, the Prot Warrior is now a much more conscientious spec than it was, because in the past you just had so much rage. You were popping these, back-to-back full Ignore Pains. They were stacking on top of each other. It was like impossible to die. It was really overpowered. But now you kind of have to plan things a little bit better. So one little tip that I want to give you is if you get an Ultimatum proc, well, let's back up. If you use your Focus Rage, right? Now, your Vengeance proc is for Ignore Pain, but then you use Shield Slam again, and you crit, so then you proc Ultimatum. But you have enough rage to use your Ignore Pain. Don't just use that Focus Rage yet, because it's procced and it's going to be free. If you have enough rage to use that Ignore Pain, use the Ignore Pain, and then hit the Focus Rage that is procced with Ultimatum, so it's free, and then in a matter of, it's not even on the global cooldown. So in the matter of 1 global cooldown, you are now ready to, you're already procced back to, your Vengeance proc for Ignore Pain. So you use Focus Rage, you use Shield Slam, You crit, you get an focus rage proc with ultimatum, you use your ignore pain, then you use your procced focus rage with ultimatum. That uses the vengeance proc for focus rage, and it uses the ultimatum proc on focus rage. And that way you are already ready to build rage for your next ignore pain, without having to spend any rage with your vengeance build to use your focus rage. And you'll find that when you have your shield block up, that's how you proc with shield slam, right? You'll find that you crit with shield slam a lot, especially when you have your artifact trait, which buffs it. I also have a relic in my artifact weapon that buffs my shield slam crit. So, those are things to keep in mind, but they proc all the time, and you just need to take advantage of it. You need to use the spec properly, or you are going to really suffer, and this freaking spec is going to suck. So, it's just about management. It does take practice, but, I'm playing this over a mythic dungeon because I wanted to show you that it's really not that bad. This is a mythic dungeon. We were moving really fast. The healer wasn't having any problem keeping me up. I wasn't even hardly dipping, below 50% health. Rarely ever, except for on that last boss, Neuraxis, because that boss is miserable. But I just kind of wanted to tell you guys some of the things about the Prot Warrior. I think it's still a very viable spec. I felt like I was doing a decent amount of damage too, even with the nerf. And I definitely had more rage to manage my spec. And another thing, when you're trying to maximize on playing your class, you can almost think of it as more rewarding, because instead of it just mindlessly, you're mindlessly just popping ignore pain, it's easy. You have to think about it a little bit more now. You have to plan things out. So, when you have a molten crash and you need to use a defensive, that's what you want to save your ignore pain for. So it's a more conscientious spec now. I thought it was a little bit more engaging to play. So I think that we were overpowered, and the nerf was not totally a horrible thing. I think there's more involved now to playing the spec. So those are kind of my thoughts on the Prot Warrior, guys. I just wanted to talk about that with the nerf. I know I cover a lot of stuff as far as warriors go, and I main a Prot Warrior, so I still like the spec. I think it's good. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment below. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.